We're here at LightReading's NFE and SDN conference in Denver, and I'm with David Wang. He's the CEO and founder of Wave2Wave. Good to talk to you today, David.
Thank you. Sorry?
Maybe just to start, a lot of people may not be familiar with Wave2Wave. Maybe just a brief history of the company and where you guys are today.
Sure. So Wave2Wave, I personally started many years back, initially as a physical cabling connectivity company for data centers and telcos. Now, over the years, we have evolved into an automated physical layer company with technology that leverage robotic motion software and to automate our traditional physical connectivities in the telcos and data centers.
So the company's been around for a while. You've seen some things in the industry, I imagine. Maybe talk a little bit about what you're seeing as the major trends that are affecting Wave2Wave and how you see it.
So 12 years as Wave2Wave, we have touched on a lot of the data center customers, the Mimi rooms, the telco, the fiber to the homes, to the towers, and fundamentally, we are still living in a 20-year-old scope of work, which is managing physically the cabling. So what we're seeing, the industry has been moving much more upscale to software-defined networking, virtualization. Now, one of the fundamental layer, which is the physical fiber connectivities, is actually not moving much at all. So what we're seeing ourselves is to really started revisiting this 20-year-old problem and to see how we can actually take this to the software-defined world. And with the robotic technology, it's kind of interesting that we're solving a physical layer problem physically and still keeping that fiber-to-fiber physical connections and the passive connection to maintain that level of reliability. And I think this is the beginning of a evolution for the entire network, including the physical layer, to really become a software-defined network for all networks across the world.
We're at this conference, of course, is very focused on virtualization and NFE and SDN. So you're really looking at, this is the physical fibers, and when you you're automating the physical layer, the fibers, not the wavelengths. But and this is just to be clear, this is a robotic technology. So this is physically moving a fiber from port to port, essentially, right?
Correct. So we are facing a physical connectivity layer. Today, the operations are very manual. It's a truck roll. Some of the folks we talk at the conference, they're talking about getting a service, and the work order get to 2019. Generally, we're seeing a service provisioning takes about 3 weeks. In the probably the most ideal situation, we're seeing the service provisioning takes about 120 days, and we are living in this software-defined, fast-paced, dynamic, virtualized world. But getting a bandwidth, getting a service, getting a connectivity across connection in the network is still very backward. So the physical approach takes the part of the optical industry a few years ago when we started really getting the product introduced to the market. I think it takes the industry to a pleasant surprise. We've been trying to manipulate a number of ways on the optical domain with light beaming, mirrors and so on. But we are dealing with a physical problem, and the physical problem to solve passively, physically, mechanical latching really brings another level of discussions of what reliability is all about.
Right.
So failures should not affect services, and that's fundamentally what the robotic technology actually giving us a software-defined but kind of out-of-band capability to make the fiber connection but stay out of it. Almost all the electronic components, the robotic components, actually had nothing to do with that circuit that customers are providing SLAs to their customers and to maintain that level of reliability on the physical layer.
Right. So the service assurance clearly is an important
assurance,
the
peace of mind, introducing another optical switch, however, is at a much better reliability point for the production network, which is often is the most worrisome topic for the carriers. What are we introducing? Is that another point of failures? Is that another point of management? Is that another point of complexity? In this case, the simplicity is probably summarize this level of technology the best way.
Right. The technology clearly is fairly complex, but the application of it.
What it actually does and the connection that's made is as simple, as consistent, and as accurate as we ever can get. And that's what the robotic technology can really offer compared to our human hand.
Right.
I will never be able to get a fiber connection done up in the air by my hand, one shot. You have several trials and errors. Now, I think when you are able to automate the physical layer on the fiber levels, it becomes also very interesting from the network design, network migration standpoint. We often draw a line when we design a network, and that line is a cable that ties a couple ports, a couple devices. And so we're not thinking how we can manage, how we can reconfigure the network, how we can have the SDN controllers to respond to the applications, the network traffic, and then to be able to having a dynamic physical network to get reconfigured, to get rerouted on the fiber level. Now you can.
Interesting. So, do you think once this type of technology is in place, do you see new applications emerging over time where historically people haven't been able to really automate this level?
Yeah. So there are many things this technology is enabling. Certainly from operation standpoint, now time to service becomes a lot faster. You can monitor, test the network automatically, recover failures, fiber cut automatically with the entire automated workflow. Now, when we are talking to carriers and data center operators, we're also listening tremendously what they are using this technology. A couple of things that are really interesting. So bandwidth on demand, bandwidth by the minute. The subsea cables, you can have much higher value fiber coming onshore, and to make that available to many customers in a fraction of time, in a small increment of billing cycles, and you can have the service to get much more utilized, much more maximized. So it's an enabler to really offer into the carriers, the data centers, and for them to do better business to their customers.
Interesting.
And we're seeing that, we're listening to that, and it's really fascinating to see, how the industry can potentially evolve a lot more with the automation.
Sure. Yeah. Look for. Clearly, you're in the right space with automation. So look forward to tracking the progress of Wave2Wave. And thanks for talking to us today.
Yeah. Thank you, Sterling.